in my very first interaction, we got an escrow. We got a week away from closing, and he said, "Hey, I don't have $27,000." And I was like, "Let's get a phone call real quick." And in the phone call, I identified that they wanted $27,000 for closing costs on a 565 with zero down.
Gee.
And I was like, "Well, shoot, that's like almost 4.5% of what your loan amount is. I'm always used to it being between 2 and 3%." So I called the lender and I said, "Hey, our guy doesn't have the money to close. What are we going to do? What are our choices here? Can he take a high?" I said, "Can he take a higher interest rate and get credits from you guys to to cover the closing costs?" And he was like, "Well, that's one option, or he could just pay it." And I said, "Well, what?" He just said he doesn't have the money. And he was like, "Mr. Barker, you need to stay in your lane. You're the real estate agent. You found him the house, right? I'm the lender. So
Hmm.
I see how much money he has, and he's lying." He thought that I was going to go to this buyer of mine, client of mine, and tell the buyer, "Suck it up, Buttercup, get that 27,000." So when he told me to stay in my lane, and then he said that he has visibility of this guy's finances, I was like, "Oh, duh, you have to turn in all of your bank statements when you're applying for a mortgage, right?"
Yeah.
So I called my other lender and I said, "Hey, I've got this address, 565 is the price. What can we do?" And he was like, "I can close it in 10 days if I can get that appraisal switched over to me." So then I linked him up with the guy. I gave the agents a heads up. "Hey, we might be closing late, but if it's okay, then we want to pursue a different lender because this guy's trying to rip this guy off." And I just didn't even know about this company at the time, but I was learning. After that, they called me and they called me out. They were like, "Why did you do this?" And I said, "Well, you guys are ripping them off." And they were like, "Yeah, well, we're not going to introduce you to any more veterans if you don't do this." And I said, "Do what?" And they said, "Advocate for them to stay with our lending." And I was like, "No, no, 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 no. I advocate for everybody to get the best product at the best price. So if you can't be the best product at the best price, I guess we're done." And
Yeah.
he said, "I guess we're done." And that was the end of that and the beginning of the rest of my life, right? Because since then, I've been doing everything I can to make sure that nobody does business with those clowns, but they still get plenty of business.
Yes.